Good day everyone, we are the Group A and for today, we will be discussing about the silent way. I am Hani Vosotros and my partner is Jean-Claude Bargamento. So, first, let me ask you a question. Are you ready? Okay, because bear with me for a moment for I will be discussing the silent way. The silent way method. So now, before we'll go on what is the definition of the silent way, now let us discover who developed the silent way method. The silent way method was developed by Caleb Gattegno. He is one of the influential and prolific mathematics educators in the 20th century, and he created the silent way method in the year 1963. So for now, let's move forward of what is the meaning of the silent way. So the silent way is a language teaching method that makes extensive use of silence as a teaching techniques. So it uses silence as a teaching techniques because in a silent way class, teachers will not talk most of the time. Only the learners will encourage to produce sound as much as possible. Next is, it derives from its name from the fact that the teacher is conducting a silent way class is silent for most of the time. So as I've said earlier, the teacher will not talk. He will only guide the students to do the task so that the learners will learn independently and with also the help of his or her co-learners. So lastly, the silent way is the silence is considered the best vehicle for learning. Why? Because in a silent way class, learners can concentrate on what he or she is doing. And if they can concentrate, then they can accomplish the task on time. So what are the pedagogical materials used in a silent way? So first we have a word chart. A word chart or a wall chart in which the words are written with the same color code as a rectangle chart. With the use of the word chart, the learners can be immediately read or pronounce the target language. So next is the sound color chart. So the sound color charts contains a certain number of colored rectangles, like each rectangle representing a sound or the sound in a target language. The third pedagogical materials is the Fidel chart. Fidel chart is a set of chart representing all the possible spellings of each sound of the language. And the fourth is the Kursner rods. Rods are used to create a clear visible situations that enable students to understand how a given concept is expressed in the language. Advantage and disadvantage of a silent way. So first, we will tackle about the three advantages that we've searched. So the first is the interaction of students not only with the teachers but also with each other. Because in a silent way class, students will not only interact with the teachers, he or she will interact with her co-learners so that they can learn all together. They will not compete, but they will have a cooperative learning. So next is, the errors are corrected by students themselves. And these errors is become the feedback for teacher to help the students. So as you can see, in the silent way class, the errors will not be corrected by teachers. Instead, the learners himself will correct herself so that they can learn. Number 3, the silent way teachers are less spoken, therefore they are available to their students and free to observe them. So, in a silent way class, the teachers will not talk most of the time. So, the teachers will have plenty of time to observe one of his learners who needs improvement and who are the students who are excellent.
So next, here are the three disadvantages of silent way method. So first, the students do not understand the materials because sometimes students will feel confused of the materials, and that confusion will lead the students not understand the target language. Next is the process of self-correction in time-consuming. And also, if a learner will do their own correction, it will take time because there are many learners that are hard to understand. And last, students will be confused with the symbols of the wooden rods. Students will confuse because there are many symbols in language that are present. Next is the role of a teacher. So first, it is a technician or an engineer who facilitate learning. Because teacher in a silent way will not only facilitate but also teacher will be the controller, the evaluator, and the one who guide the learners. Second, the teacher's role as a neutral observer. Neutral observer because as a teacher in a silent way, you need to observe your learner in order to know the students on who is needed improvement and whose are excellence. In short, the teacher will just observe but not praise nor criticize. The third is the teacher is silent. Teacher is silent most of the time in a silent way because the teachers encourage students to talk so that they can learn and understand. In a silent way method, there are 3 teachers' tasks needed to be accomplished. So first, to teach. Teachers will present their item once and by using nonverbal clues to get across meaning. So second, the test. Elicitation in shaping of students' production is done in a silent way as possible. Last, to get away. So the teacher silently monitors learners' interaction with each other and may leave the room while learners struggle with their new linguistic tools.
The role of a learner. So first is, learners are expected to develop independence, autonomy, and responsibility. Next is, learners have only themselves as an individual and a group to rely on. And the third is, a learner must be a teacher, a student, a problem solver, and a self-evaluator. So in short, the role of a learner is to discover, learn independently with the help of yourself or with the help of their co-learners. The role of the instructional materials. First is the materials are used to illustrate the relationship between the sound and the meaning of the target language. Because the materials in a silent way method is very important because these materials will help the learners on how to pronounce and how to know the meaning of the target language. So next is the materials are designed for the manipulation of both teachers and learners. So the materials in silent way or instructional materials in a silent way is a big help for a teacher and also for the students because this material will help the students to improve their learnings. And for the closing part, we will leave you with this quote. Tell me and I forget, teach me and I remember, involve me and I learn, by Benjamin Franklin. Thank you everyone, and we are the Group 8. Have a great day.